Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt that your spirit was still vibrant, still curious, still young, yet the reflection staring back seemed tired, even older than you feel inside? It's a moment many women experience after 60. The truth is, it's not always the lines on your face or the changes in your skin that age you most, it's often your hair. I once worked with a woman named Carol, age 65, who had worn the same hairstyle for over 30 years. Long, straight, heavy, and untouched by change. She believed it made her look classic and safe. But as time passed, what once flattered her features began to weigh her down. The length dragged her face, the color dulled her complexion, and the overall look whispered fatigue instead of vitality. One day, sitting in the salon chair, she admitted, "I don't recognize myself anymore. I still feel energetic, but my hair tells a different story." That single realization is powerful, because hair has the ability to either highlight the best version of you or hold you back in a past that no longer fits. The good news is that transformation doesn't require drastic measures. You don't need a total makeover or to chase youth. What you need is the right haircut, one that works with who you are today, not who you were 20 or 30 years ago. In this video, we're going to explore 5 haircuts that can instantly take 10 years off your appearance, not by pretending to make you younger, but by making you look vibrant, polished, and alive right now. Along the way, we'll uncover the 6 most common hair mistakes that quietly add a decade to your look, and more importantly, how to avoid them. By the end, you won't just know which cuts are flattering, you'll understand why they work, how to tailor them to your face and lifestyle. And you'll hear real stories of women just like you who discovered the power of change. Most of all, you'll find permission to love your reflection again, not because it looks younger, but because it finally feels like you. Chapter 1: Why Hair Matters After 50. By the time we reach our 50s and 60s, our relationship with hair changes in ways most women don't anticipate. For years, hair may have felt effortless, thick enough, shiny enough, manageable with a quick trim and style. But as hormones shift, particularly after menopause, the biology of hair begins to tell a new story. Estrogen and progesterone, which once helped regulate the growth cycle and supported healthy strands, decline. The result is hair that looks and behaves differently. The science is straightforward. Hair fibers become finer because the diameter of each strand decreases. The scalp produces less natural oil, leaving hair drier and more prone to frizz. Melanin production slows, so silver, white, or salt and pepper tones gradually replace the original color. For some women, density decreases significantly, with visible thinning around the temples or crown. None of this is a sign of neglect. It is simply the natural evolution of hair with age. Yet how we adapt to these changes has an enormous impact on the way we look and feel. Hair is often described as the frame of the face, and that analogy is accurate. Imagine a painting in a gallery. The artwork may be extraordinary, but if the frame is outdated, too heavy, or damaged, the viewer's attention shifts to the flaws rather than the beauty of the art itself. The same principle applies to hair. The right haircut can sharpen the jawline, highlight the cheekbones, soften lines around the eyes, and create lift where the skin may have lost some elasticity. On the other hand, hair that hangs shapelessly or weighs the face down can unintentionally emphasize aging features. This is why the haircut you choose after 50 is more than a style decision. It is a strategic choice. A skilled cut becomes a tool of subtle sculpting. Layers placed at the right points bring movement and bounce to fine hair. Adjusting length can visually elongate the neck or balance the proportions of the face. Even subtle shaping around the temples or fringe areas can disguise thinning while drawing focus back to the eyes. These refinements are not about chasing youth. They are about aligning your hair with the vitality you still carry. To understand the impact of hair, it helps to think of it in the same way you might think of clothing. The right dress can minimize areas you want less attention on, highlight your strengths, and communicate personality without a word. Hair operates in exactly the same way. A layered bob has the quiet sophistication of a tailored blazer. It signals polish and balance. A textured pixie cut has the confidence of a modern suit. It says strength, independence, and freedom. Shoulder-length layers with movement carry the same charm as a well-fitted midi dress, feminine, graceful, but never dated. In every case, the fit matters. A haircut chosen thoughtfully does not mask who you are. It allows the woman you are today to stand out clearly. The mistake many women make is holding on to a style that worked 20 or 30 years earlier. What flattered your face at 35 will not necessarily serve you at 65. Facial structure changes, skin tone shifts, and the texture of the hair itself evolves. Without adjustment, the hairstyle can feel frozen in time, clashing with the woman you have become. Updating your cut is not a denial of the past. It is an acknowledgement of the present, a way of saying, I am still here and this is who I am now. Ultimately, hair after 50 is not about recreating youth. It is about reflecting vitality, presence, and self-respect. It is about ensuring that when you look in the mirror, you see harmony between the woman inside and the image presented outside. When approached with intention, hair becomes one of the most powerful style choices you can make. It frames not only your face, but your confidence, your elegance, and your ability to step into every stage of life feeling fully yourself. Chapter 2: 5 Hairstyles that make you look younger. 1. The soft layered bob. The soft layered bob remains one of the most flattering haircuts for women over 60 because it corrects several of the most common changes hair undergoes with age. As strands become finer, hair loses natural volume, particularly at the crown and around the temples. The layered bob reintroduces fullness without the need for heavy styling. Gentle, well-placed layers create the illusion of density, allowing even thinner hair to look healthy and vibrant. Unlike a traditional blunt bob that can feel severe, the layered version offers movement. Those subtle shifts in length prevent the hair from lying flat against the head. Instead, it frames the face with softness, lifting the cheekbones and drawing attention upward to the eyes. For women who worry about sagging around the jawline or hollowness at the temples, this cut works like a natural facelift. Consider the example of Susan, a 68-year-old retired teacher who had worn her hair long and straight for nearly 3 decades. She resisted change, convinced that long hair made her look more feminine. When she finally cut her hair into a soft layered bob, the transformation was remarkable. Neighbors joked she looked as though she had just returned from a cosmetic procedure, even though nothing had changed except her cut. The shorter, layered style instantly took weight off her features and gave her an air of lightness she hadn't felt in years. From a maintenance perspective, the layered bob is forgiving. It can be worn sleek with a round brush and blow dryer for formal occasions, or left to air dry naturally for a more relaxed look. It also works beautifully with silver or white hair, because layers capture the light and highlight the natural dimension of color. Women who still choose to dye their hair benefit as well, since the movement of layers blends highlights and lowlights seamlessly. For best results, women with round or oval faces should ask for layers that skim the cheekbones. Those with longer faces can opt for slightly shorter lengths that stop just below the chin, adding width where needed. The key is personalization. The bob must suit the individual face, not a generic template. When done correctly, this style offers sophistication without stiffness, youthfulness without pretense. 2. The textured pixie cut. The pixie cut carries a reputation for boldness, but the modern textured version is less about daring and more about refinement. By incorporating soft feathered layers, the style balances femininity with strength. It emphasizes bone structure, the cheekbones, the jawline, the graceful length of the neck, features that often become more defined with age. The textured pixie is also practical, because hair is cropped short. It eliminates the heaviness that can make thinning hair appear lifeless. Strategic layering at the crown creates lift exactly where mature hair tends to collapse, restoring a sense of vitality. For women with silver or sultan pepper tones, the pixie turns color into an asset rather than something to hide. Natural grays sparkle in short, textured cuts, catching the light like jewelry. Many women describe the pixie as emotionally liberating. One client, Linda, age 64, decided to cut her hair into a pixie after her divorce. For years, she had hidden behind shoulder-length hair, believing it made her look softer and safer. After the change, she told me, I finally feel like myself again. I look in the mirror and see a woman who isn't afraid anymore. Her pixie became more than a style, it was a declaration of independence. Styling a textured pixie is surprisingly easy. Most women need only a lightweight mousse or pomade to define layers. The cut can be worn sleek for a polished appearance or tousled slightly for a playful, casual look. Regular trims every 5 to 6 weeks maintain shape, but daily upkeep is minimal. The only caution is that this cut must be executed by a skilled stylist. The placement of texture determines whether the result feels feminine and youthful or harsh and boyish. Layers should be feathered, not chopped, with volume concentrated at the crown rather than the sides. When done correctly, the textured pixie radiates energy and confidence, a style that announces presence rather than age. 3. shoulder-length hair with face-framing layers. For women who hesitate to go short, the shoulder-length cut with layers provides the perfect balance. It preserves femininity and movement while eliminating the heaviness that long, unstructured hair often creates after 50. The secret lies in how layers are positioned. Instead of dragging the face downward, layers direct attention upward, sculpting around the cheekbones and eyes. This style works especially well for women with medium to thick hair, but even fine hair benefits from carefully placed framing layers. The added shape prevents the dreaded triangle effect, where hair is flat at the top and bulky at the bottom. A shoulder-length cut keeps the overall silhouette light and modern. Take the example of Margaret, a 61-year-old grandmother who wanted to maintain a gentle feminine image while still appearing vibrant at family events. She opted for a shoulder-length style with soft layers and subtle waves. At her granddaughter's graduation, relatives complimented her fresh look, noting how the haircut made her eyes appear brighter and her smile more youthful. She didn't look dramatically different, she simply looked like the best version of herself. This length is highly versatile. It can be blown out smooth for sophistication, styled with loose curls for elegance, or worn natural for ease. Adding curtain bangs enhances the lifting effect, framing the eyes and softening forehead lines. Because it sits at shoulder level, the cut avoids the dragging effect of long hair while still offering the comfort of length many women prefer. Women often underestimate how transformative a shoulder-length cut can be. It avoids extremes, yet delivers balance, movement, and vitality. It is a safe choice, yes, but never boring when executed with intention. 4. The modern blunt bob. The blunt bob has long been associated with sophistication. In its modern form, it maintains that elegance but introduces softness that makes it wearable for women over 60. Instead of harsh, sharp ends, today's blunt bob incorporates subtle undercuts or curved edges. These refinements prevent the style from appearing rigid while preserving its structural benefits. Why is structure so important? With age, facial contours soften, cheeks may lose volume, and the jawline may become less defined. A blunt bob restores visual clarity. Much like a tailored blazer sharpens the silhouette of the body, a clean, straight bob defines the lines of the face. It frames features with purpose, signaling elegance and control. Consider Catherine, a 62-year-old corporate executive. She chose a blunt bob cut just below the chin, slightly angled forward. The effect in the boardroom was immediate. Colleagues remarked that she looked both authoritative and stylish. She explained that the cut gave her a sense of alignment. Her external appearance finally matched her inner confidence as a leader. This haircut requires precision. It should not be overly stiff but rather tailored to the individual. Options include a deep side part for drama, feathered ends at the front to soften the jawline, or an asymmetrical edge for a contemporary twist. The style works best on straight or slightly wavy hair, though a smooth blow-dry can refine the look on any texture. Maintenance is moderate, but the impact is high. The modern blunt bob communicates clarity. I know who I am. For women seeking elegance with strength, it is one of the most effective styles available. 5. The soft shag with curtain bangs. The shag has been reimagined for today's mature woman. Gone are the choppy, rebellious versions of the 1970s. The modern soft shag is graceful, layered, and full of life. It introduces texture without chaos, volume without bulk. Its signature element, the curtain bang, frames the face gently, parting at the center and sweeping toward the cheekbones. This style is particularly flattering because it addresses several challenges of aging hair simultaneously. Layers at the crown create lift where hair often thins. Feathered ends prevent the triangular shape that makes hair look heavy. Curtain bangs disguise forehead lines while drawing attention to the eyes, adding softness without the severity of blunt bangs. One striking example is Elaine, a 70-year-old grandmother who loves to travel. She had always worn her hair simply pulled back, believing shorter cuts were impractical for her lifestyle. When she tried a soft shag with curtain bangs, the transformation was so striking that her friends compared her to a lifestyle blogger. She looked modern, stylish, and full of spirit, exactly how she felt inside. The soft shag is also remarkably low maintenance. The layers create natural texture so it can be air-dried with minimal product for an effortless look. A light volumizing spray or mousse is often all that's needed. Curtain bangs grow out gracefully, requiring fewer trims than traditional fringe. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of this cut is its personality. It signals vibrancy, creativity, and openness to new experiences. It says, I'm not fading quietly into the background. I'm still here, still alive, still ready to enjoy life. For the right woman, the soft shag is not just a haircut, it is a statement of joy. Chapter 3, 6 Common Mistakes That Age You. 1. Holding on to the same haircut for 20-30 years. One of the most common traps women fall into is loyalty to a style that once worked beautifully. A cut that was flattering at 35 does not automatically translate at 65. Facial structure changes, skin tone shifts, and hair texture evolves with age. What once highlighted your best features may now pull them down. Example: a client who had worn the same layered cut since her 40s realized it was overwhelming her finer, thinning hair by her 60s. Solution: update your style every 5 to 7 years. Work with a stylist who can adapt the shape to your current face and hair texture. A subtle change, shorter length, lighter layers, or a softer fringe can refresh your entire look. 2. Wearing long, heavy hair with no layers. While long hair can be beautiful when it lacks structure, it often drags the face downward, exaggerating sagging around the jawline. The weight of one-length long hair highlights thinning ends and removes natural movement. Example: Susan at 67 clung to waist-length hair because she believed it symbolized femininity. The effect was the opposite. It pulled her features down and looked lifeless. Solution: add soft layers or face-framing pieces to lighten the look, if you prefer keeping length. Ensure it has architecture, movement, and shape that lift instead of drag. 3. Relying on a blunt, single-length cut. One-length styles may seem low maintenance, but they can make hair look flat and lifeless. Without texture, hair lacks dimension and fails to complement facial features. Severe one-length bobs, for instance, can harden expression rather than soften it. Example: a woman in her 60s wore a sharp, chin-length bob with no movement, instead of elegance. The effect was severe and aging. Solution: introduce subtle layers, texture, or feathering. Even a minimal adjustment softens lines and creates youthful movement. 4. Ignoring the crown and temples. Thinning around the crown and hairline is one of the earliest visible signs of aging hair, yet many women overlook it. A haircut that ignores these areas can expose thinning instead of disguising it. Example: a client with otherwise thick hair had noticeable thinning at her temples. Because her stylist kept her cut blunt and heavy, the thinning areas looked more pronounced. Solution: ask your stylist to add light fringe near the temples or gentle layering at the crown. These adjustments visually fill in sparse areas and shift focus back to the eyes. 5. Overstyling with gel, teasing, or stiff sprays. The helmet hair of decades past instantly dates a look. Over-volumizing with teasing or locking hair into place with heavy products removes the softness that signals freshness and vitality. Instead of looking youthful, it reads as trying too hard. Example: a woman in her 70s teased her crown daily, spraying it into a rigid dome. The style aged her by a decade. Solution: use modern lightweight mouses or texturizing sprays. Aim for movement rather than stiffness. Effortless softness almost always translates to youthfulness. 6. Choosing the wrong color for your skin tone. Hair color and haircut must work together. Overly dark shades can wash out the complexion, while harsh artificial tones create imbalance. Jet black or flat box dye browns often make skin look dull and highlight fine lines. Example: Helen, age 63, dyed her hair a flat black for years. Instead of youthful, the stark contrast made her skin appear pale and tired. Solution: opt for dimensional tones, warm highlights, soft lowlights, or embrace natural silver. When color harmonizes with skin tone, it enhances the cut and brightens the entire face. These 6 mistakes are not about vanity, but about awareness. Small adjustments, lighter layers, softer styling, or a more balanced shade can mean the difference between looking tired and looking vibrant. The goal is not to deny age, but to reflect the best version of who you are now. Chapter 4: Hair and Lifestyle. Hair is not just a matter of style, it is deeply connected to the way a woman presents herself to the world. After 50, the harmony between hairstyle and lifestyle becomes even more essential. The right cut complements not only facial structure but also wardrobe choices, personal identity, and daily activities. Hair and fashion, a natural pairing. Every haircut communicates a mood, and when paired with clothing, it becomes a complete statement. A textured pixie cut, for example, pairs effortlessly with jeans and a fitted jacket. The sharpness of the cut balances the casual edge of denim, while the layers bring a touch of playfulness that keeps the look fresh rather than harsh. This combination is ideal for women who want to project energy, independence, and approachability. The bob, especially in its softer layered version, resonates perfectly with a midi dress or a tailored skirt. Together they signal elegance without rigidity. The clean lines of the cut mirror the graceful flow of the dress, creating an impression of timeless sophistication. For women attending social gatherings, luncheons, or cultural events, this pairing communicates refinement and confidence without appearing overdressed. Shoulder-length hair with movement aligns well with versatile wardrobes. Loose waves paired with wide-leg trousers or a blouse convey ease and understated femininity. Meanwhile, the modern blunt bob complements structured clothing, a blazer, a pencil skirt, or even a monochromatic suit. Its precise shape reinforces the authority and polish of more formal outfits. The soft shag with curtain bangs, by contrast, speaks to a freer spirit. Paired with flowing fabrics, scarves, or bohemian-inspired prints, it creates a lively, approachable aesthetic. Women who still love to travel, dance, or explore often find that this cut mirrors their zest for life in the most authentic way. The psychology of hair. Beyond fashion, hairstyle is closely tied to psychology. A woman's cut often reflects how she feels about herself. Short, textured cuts can reveal confidence and a willingness to stand out. Softer, layered looks suggest warmth and accessibility. Regardless of style, hair becomes a visible expression of self-image. For many women over 60, updating a haircut is less about appearance and more about reclaiming identity. Letting go of a dated style can feel like shedding the weight of old expectations. Choosing a cut that feels aligned with present life circumstances is empowering. It signals not only to others but to oneself, I am still evolving. Storytelling, confidence rediscovered. One of my clients, a woman of 65, illustrates this perfectly. She had worn the same long, straight hairstyle since her 30s, believing it kept her looking youthful. Yet the heaviness of her hair worked against her features. After much hesitation, she transitioned to a shoulder-length cut with soft layers. The reaction at home was immediate. Her daughter's first words were, "Mom, you look amazing." That moment was more than a compliment, it was recognition of the renewed energy her mother radiated. What changed wasn't just the haircut, it was the confidence that came with seeing herself differently. Hair as lifestyle alignment. Ultimately, hair and lifestyle are inseparable. The woman who embraces a pixie often values simplicity and freedom in her daily routine. The one who maintains a layered bob may prioritize polish and versatility. A blunt bob can echo a career-driven, structured life, while a soft shag celebrates creativity and spontaneity. None of these choices are right or wrong, they are reflections of personal rhythm. The key after 50 is to ensure that hair does not contradict the life being lived. A dated or heavy cut can feel like wearing clothes from another decade, uncomfortable and misaligned. A thoughtful, intentional style, however, reinforces identity, making daily life feel cohesive, expressive, and authentic. At the end of the day, hair is never just hair. It is not simply strands of keratin that grow and fall. It is a frame, a signal, and often a declaration of how we choose to live. For women over 60, the haircut you wear is not only about style, it is a statement of maturity, self-respect, and freedom. It tells the world whether you are holding on to the past or stepping fully into the woman you are today. If there is one lesson to carry with you, it's this: turning 60 is not a closing chapter, it is the beginning of a new one. With each stage of life comes the opportunity to redefine yourself, and your hair can be the most visible, most immediate way to say, "This is me and I am still evolving." A fresh cut doesn't erase your history. Instead, it honors your journey while allowing you to shine in the present. So here's my encouragement to you: don't be afraid to try something new. Maybe it's soft layers that bring light to your face. Maybe it's a bold pixie that feels liberating. Maybe it's simply updating your current style with modern movement and dimension. Whatever it is, let your hair reflect not your age, but your vitality. I also invite you to share this message. If you have friends, sisters, or colleagues who are standing in front of the mirror wondering why they don't feel as radiant as they once did, pass this video along. Sometimes, the smallest inspiration, a new haircut, a fresh perspective, is all it takes to spark confidence again. And now, I'd love to hear from you. Which haircut from today's video spoke to you the most? Which one do you see yourself trying first? Leave a comment below with your answer. The style I want to try first is, I promise to read them because every story of change is worth celebrating. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Your presence here matters, and your willingness to invest in yourself inspires me. Remember, beauty is not about erasing years, it's about expressing the strength, wisdom, and elegance you've earned. I can't wait to see you again in the next video where we'll continue exploring ways to stay chic, confident, and full of life at every age. Until then, take care, celebrate your reflection, and never forget, you are radiant right here, right now. See you soon.